Hi guys, we're here today with David DJ Clutch. So, David, going back to some of the origins. So, how long have you actually been in Las Vegas?
I've been in Las Vegas now for going on, I think, 21 years now.
21 years. So you,
Yeah.
you pretty much came out here at a very, very young age.
Yeah, I came out to Las Vegas when I was 10 years old.
So where were you originally born?
Hoboken, New Jersey.
So what brought you, or I guess at that point, what brought your family out to Las Vegas?
My family got some job opportunities working actually on the strip at some of the casinos, and then they came out here, and then my mom and my dad were still in New Jersey, and then what happened was I came out here for a summer, and I loved it so much, and the weather's perfect, so I came out here and I just decided to stay. So my aunt put me in school, and my mom came and signed me in, and then ended up moving the whole family out here after that.
So you're out here, and so obviously you've been around the city for a long time. You probably got to see the city grow.
Oh yeah,
over that period of time. From again, it's still, to me, it's the heart and soul of entertainment. Some of the greatest talent in the world for many different genres have performed and had residencies in Las Vegas. And to think about even some of the spaces on the Strip, and knowing that in similar properties or old locations of properties, people like the Rat Pack, Frank Sinatra, etc., have performed Elvis at these establishments. And now it's kind of fun to see how that it's progressed. And the primary, I would say, one of the primary entertainment kind of vessels or people in Vegas is the DJ. The DJ has really become the modern day rock star. And I know that you've now been DJing. How long would you say?
So I've been DJing for 14 years, just 8 years now professionally. So before that, it was kind of just house parties and like in my bedroom a lot.
So
learning the craft.
Out to Vegas, you're young, you grow up around this kind of entertainment environment. I'm assuming you go to high school, things like that. And then what was kind of, help me fill these gaps in from kind of being 18 years old to when you jumped into music. Like, give me some of the points that actually help connect this journey.
Yeah, so when I was really young, I wanted a set of turntables, and it was kind of an ongoing battle with my parents. And finally, they gave in, and they gave me some money to buy my first set of turntables. And I bought that set of turntables, and I didn't know what I was doing. And it was kind of like, they were like, okay, well, now we spent all this money on this, so what are you going to do? And they actually I used it, and then they just sat there, and I didn't know what I was doing at all. And then I kind of, when I was around like 17, 18, I decided to like really just dive in and try to figure it out. And then at that point, I feel like the internet was getting a little better, and access to music was a lot easier than it was when I was 14 and 15. So I would go online, Napster, and all those LimeWire, all those websites you're not supposed to be on, and I would download music. And then I started to figure out how to DJ and actually use the turntables the proper way and the mixers. And then I would say when I was around like 18, my friends were always trying to party, so I got a nice, like, finally sold my old setup, got a nicer setup, and then just started doing like random like house parties and stuff like that people would want to throw. So I would just do it, and for fun and for free, and it was a great time always, and it was a great learning curve. And then I started playing like that, and then finally when I was 21, I got a job as a busser at Tryst nightclub in Las Vegas. And then seeing those DJs play all the time that were playing there was kind of like my goal, my dream. So then it was like I worked for 3 years and finally started playing like Christmas parties and like all the holiday events that the Wynn would have for like the nightclubs. And I think that's how I got kind of recognized, and they, like, everybody that worked there was actually like able to believe that I knew how to DJ, and it wasn't just me saying that I know how to DJ. And then I got an opportunity to play at I believe it was Trist was my first time playing at the Wynn, and I played there, and then it kind of just grew from there.
I think, I remember kind of during that path, like you came into the business, and obviously starting out on the service side of the business, but had a lot of relationships, knew a lot of people. And I remember when you would do these shows, you had a great following. You had a lot of people that were coming to the shows. I remember you even doing some of the off the strip stuff, and people would come and see the shows. And there was a lot of unity behind that. It was really becoming an experience and an event. And I know a lot of the staff enjoyed the music you played. And again, it was becoming a very social thing to go to your shows. And obviously then you start in that position, and all of a sudden now you're playing a lot of key shows. I don't think a lot of people realize, but when you look at the percentage of people in the world that are in your art and craft, like playing in some of these Vegas clubs, it's a very hard thing to achieve. I think that you're seeing that most of the venues have their core kind of residents that are essentially coded to that property in a sense, and they're there because obviously they understand the crowd, they understand how to play to the room, and they also understand that there is essentially an art form to opening a show for some of these tier one artists that are coming in. I remember day we would have some of the guys that didn't quite understand that, and they'd be opening a show for like a Diplo or a David Guetta, and it's 30 minutes before they're going on, and this guy's burning through some of the Diplo songs, so it's like, so maybe tell us about that, because I know there is somewhat of a strategy or an art to how you have to kind of maintain that room.
So it's like one of the DJ things is you have to learn how to read a room. And I mean, there are some DJs that just don't believe in that, and they just think that they're going to just put a playlist together the night before and they're going to go in and just play that playlist strictly. It doesn't really work that way, because when you get to the club and you start playing, if you do that, you're going to play songs that don't follow the energy of the room. And the energy of the room is, I mean, to me, it's my favorite part. So typically what I like to do is I like to start, if I'm starting the night off and I'm opening for, let's say like one of these DJs like David Guetta or Diplo or any of those guys, what I do is I start off kind of like really slow and soft and build the night from there, let the people get in the club and get acclimated and grab drinks and start feeling it out. And it always takes like the first couple people to get on the dance floor. And then once you have them and you know how to keep them there, then it's kind of like a building process from there. And you just kind of start playing more songs that are more familiar. And obviously you don't want to just go the cheesy route all the time and just play all the top 40 hits. And so you play some remixes and stuff like that. And then usually that really builds the energy. And then once you have everybody on the dance floor, then it's like you can kind of dive in and start playing stuff that, people don't really know. And, the stuff that you'll see phones come out, Shazam, people want to know what it is, the party's building. And then usually what I do is I bring that energy up to a peak. So let's say if headliner is going to get on at 1 a.m., I like to have the club at midnight feeling like they're going to feel at 2 a.m. So there's kind of like a mountain effect. The energy's there, the energy's built, we're having a good time, but I'm not in any way burning what the headliner is going to play. I'm not going to play any of the songs that they're going to play. I try not to, at least. I think I do a pretty good job at it. So what I do is I build that party up, and then I bring it down the last 30 minutes to kind of just like a fun pace of music, just nothing that's going to have any big build or drops. And then usually what I do is I ride it right into the next DJ, the headlining DJ, and then that energy comes up again, and it's like the party happens all over again, and everybody's having a great time. And I think that's the best way to do it.
So let me ask you, again, that's kind of the principle behind when you're kind of opening, but you've actually headlined a lot of shows also at the Wynn, and then obviously with your residency at Chaos. What's the different effects of when you're headlining a show? Like, where's your head at? Because, I think a lot of times people don't understand that there's periods or positions when you're walking into a room and, there could be 2,000, but there could also be 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 people in that space that you're having to entertain. Like, again, I guess we almost want to understand what your creative process is, kind of walking into that, and when you're in the positions of doing the headline shows, what is kind of like the direction, or what gets you in that mood to go out and be an entertainer?
Yeah, so that's actually a really good question, because when you are going to headline, it's a total different like perspective of the whole thing. You're not going in there to start the night, you're going in there to continue the night going. So you have to come in there with a lot more energy. You have to come I guess in a way it's like playing like a basketball game. You have to go and you have to play 100% right from the beginning, because if not, you're going to lose all that crowd that the person that played before did. They gained that whole dance floor there, all that energy. And I think that the thing is when you show up, usually my tactic way to get it going is I get on and play a lot of high energy music right away. And I also feel like crowd interaction between me and them, me using the microphone, them getting to know me, who I am. Hey everybody, my name's David Clutch, I'm from Las Vegas, how we feeling right now? Get the energy going, so they're not like, oh, who's this guy? What's he doing? And I just try to keep that energy going up. So right when I get on as a headliner, I bring that energy to a peak, and then usually what I do is I kind of flatten it out for a couple songs, and then I can rebuild from there and keep building that room and that dance floor. I think that's the best way to do it, because I've seen people get on before in my past, and they come on really soft, and then they think that they're gonna kind of bring it up, but that's kind of the opener's job. And I feel like it's the best thing to do is just come on with some energy, because essentially it is a party and everyone's trying to party. So you put in a few years at Wynn. Then an opportunity was put in front of you to be one of the resident talent over at Chaos, which obviously we understand, Chaos ended up, discontinuing operation, but honestly, some would debate it was one of the biggest nightclub openings ever. So you were part of a pretty deep roster over there. And I know you got to play some shows there, even in conjunction with some of the live performers, like being there on a night where, Cardi B is the performer, but you're setting the tone for the night, and there's, I think, 8,000 people there. Can you tell us how that experience was a little different? It kind of leading in, not to necessarily another DJ, but leading into a live performance night? Yeah, so that's a good question, because a DJ is the DJ is going to play for 2.5, 3 hours, where a headlining performer is only playing 15 minutes. So in my job that night was from the beginning opening to play the whole night and keep that party going and that energy going, and we would open, I think, 10 p.m. sometimes. Cardi B nights, I know we opened 10 p.m. and I would play all the way till about 3 a.m., 2:45, 3 a.m., and then she would get on and play 15 minutes, and then I would have to get back on and close. So I was playing the whole night, the whole party, guiding that energy. And that's a good question, because those nights I would kind of play it like if I was opening for myself and then headlining, I would I'd play the party like if I was opening, and I would kind of just bring it in like I usually would, and then I'd build it up, and then around like 1 a.m., 1:15, I would kind of bring that energy down a little bit, and then rebuild that energy from there right into the essentially the headliner set, like Cardi B or Ozuna or any of those headliners.
So you're over at Chaos, and you're doing your thing over there. Obviously, a lot of marketing went out about you being over at Chaos. You know, you're there. You're on the side of the building. I'm seeing a lot of digital billboards, a lot of digital marketing. You know, again, hopefully it sets you up in a good plateau from a perspective of branding. You know, obviously, right now it's like everyone seems that we all have a kind of a lot of time on our hands, at least a little bit of time on our hands.
Yes.
Like, you know, what are you doing to stay busy right now?
So right now, what I'm doing to stay busy is I've kind of started doing a live internet streaming DJ set every Saturday at 3 p.m. I've been doing a specific time, so I've been doing that. And then what I do is during the week I kind of put together music that are like my favorite songs and stuff that I really like that has came out recently, and even some older stuff that I like. I kind of get that all together just so I can play on the live. And then I've also been just producing a lot of music. I actually challenged myself this month to do a song a day. So for 30 days, I've been producing a song every day and putting it on my Instagram.
So obviously part of the kind of programming we're doing here is obviously getting to know a little bit more about you, and then obviously leading into a DJ set that will also air as part of this video experience. You know, what can we look forward to give us a little bit of a peek of what that DJ set might feel like?
So I'm actually the type of DJ I am. I'm very open format. I like to play a lot of house music. I like to play hip hop. I think that I feel like my style of house music is I don't really like to play anything really like too hard, but I definitely do have those songs that build that energy up, and I like to mix in a lot of hip hop in between there and kind of make you feel you know, those like just that fun dance, have a good time music. I really enjoy playing like open format sets. So I'm actually excited to do this because I've mainly been doing on my live, I've been doing like all house, just because I feel like house is very summer and outdoor, like, you know, feels good. But I'm actually excited to do this for you guys because I'm going to play some different stuff this week.
Let me ask you, I mean, it's like, I think that sometimes it's hard to pinpoint the moment, you know what I mean? I think, but you know, what was that position of inspiration that you said to yourself, you know, I want to dedicate my kind of my direction and my journey, my passion to music and to this craft? Like, was there a moment, was there a time, and was there someone who inspired you to kind of go down this path and journey?
Yeah, that's a good question. I really like that because when I was younger, there was a group called Justice, and there was also a group called Bloody Beetroots, and you could watch some of the older like Bloody Beetroots shows, and they were like pretty much like these warehouse parties, and I thought that it was so cool because it was like 2,000 kids just going crazy partying. And there was these two guys and they were DJs, and I was like, man, that's really cool. I would like to do what they do. And then kind of as that was at like maybe like 17, 18 years old. And then when I turned like 21, there was now like Deadmau5 and Steve Aoki and those type of DJs, Calvin Harris. And I was like kind of really into like Calvin Harris, and then I would watch DJ sets of theirs on YouTube, and it was like something that I just wanted to do. And then eventually I I got an opportunity to play at the Win, and they told me it was either I can continue working in the service industry or I can just become a DJ and play full time. And then I ended up going the DJ route because that's what I wanted to do. And I got to say, it was actually a very scary jump. And that first year was very scary because it's like I took the jump to become a DJ, but I'm not DJing every day, you know, where if you're working in the service industry, you can work every day or anywhere, you know.
I mean, you're pretty humble when you speak about it because you're throwing out a lot of big artists, and it's great to see the human side of you because you've actually played with a lot of those artists. You know, you played with, you know, from my knowledge, I know I've been there. You've played with Marshmello and Major Lazer and Diplo and David Guetta. So it's essentially, and then obviously on the other side, opening for G-Eazy and Cardi B and, you know, Maluma and Ozuna. So it's like, you know, when you think about the shows that you've been on, it's a pretty crazy, I guess you would say, almost like resume of music in a sense of the events and activities and places that you've got to go because of your music career. And I think the thing that's important is and I always ask this question because I think it's important because, again, we're talking about journey and we're talking about, again, most journeys start with a very difficult decision, you know. I think that anyone who's ever found success in a craft doesn't necessarily find it without having that moment of having to make a decision where they're essentially in the fork in the road and you just essentially diagram what that fork was for you. If you could go back and talk to the younger version of yourself, or if you could talk to the younger person out there that's going to see this video and is going to be inspired to say, you know what, like, I want to do that. They're looking at you. They understand that you are success in this industry. What would you tell them? What kind of advice would you give in building the next DJ Clutch or David Clutch?
Yeah, I would. I think if I could speak to myself, my younger self, I would tell myself when I started DJing, I told myself I would spend an hour every day in my room DJing, and I did it. I did it every day. But now looking back, I think I would tell myself, look, like, spend an hour to 2 hours DJing and take another 2 hours and use 2 hours to just produce music, because I feel like I'm really good at producing now. And back then I was scared to, like, I would produce stuff, but it wasn't anything that I was proud of. And I feel like if I just kept following it and trying every day, with anything, if you spend time at it, you know, you usually figure it out. And I think that I was scared to do that with the producing side of it. So I feel like if I just kept producing, I would kind of be I think I'd be in a lot different position than I, if I kept producing, I'd be in a lot different position now. So, yeah, I mean, if I can tell anybody, you know, some advice, it would be spend your time as much as you can in your studio or your workspace and DJ a lot before you go out to play anywhere, because you will mess up and you need to know how to correct it right away. And also stay home and produce a lot of music. That's perfect. Yeah, I mean, obviously, again, trying to utilize this interview as obviously and the set as a platform to inspire, you know, the next, you know, David Clutch, you know, really, and yeah. I'm excited about the DJ set component of this, because I'm excited to see kind of your selection and what you put out there, and I think it's going to be exciting. We obviously we're happy and we appreciate the fact that you've given us the opportunity to do this interview with you and to do this set. As we kind of close out the interviews, is there any kind of message you want to put out there just in general? Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, I appreciate you guys doing this with me. It's really cool. I'm happy I get to be a part of this. And second of all, I think that everybody right now, if you're just sitting at home or something, just, you know, put your mind to it and do something you really love and just find your passion and just follow it.
Great. Really great. Yeah, and that's the thing is right now it's like A lot of people sitting at home, kind of maybe lost for where everything is, and it's if there's something that you wanted to do, or wanted to kind of almost grow in, this is almost a good opportunity to take some of this kind of spontaneous downtime and utilize it to kind of grow yourself. And it means, David, I appreciate you joining us today. I appreciate you having this conversation with us. Definitely looking forward to the set this weekend. So thank you again.
Yeah, thank you. Take it easy.